You didn't click this video by accident. That timing, that pause in your scrolling, that pull you couldn't resist, none of it is random. It's evidence that your consciousness has locked on to something bigger than what you've been living. It's proof that you are already operating on what I call winner frequency. Think about it. Haven't you noticed moments in your life when everything lined up perfectly? When opportunities seemed to fall into your lap at exactly the right time? When your instincts told you to take a risk and that risk became the turning point? These flashes of alignment aren't coincidence. They're not luck. They are confirmation signals that the universe has been tagging you as someone meant to live at a higher level. Most people never trigger this identification system because they've been programmed to think small. They scan for problems, expect disappointment, and prepare for limitation. That's why they miss the signals. But you're different. You've been carrying a frequency that breaks through the noise, and that's why you're here right now. The universe doesn't waste precision. It doesn't send messages like this to someone who isn't ready to receive them. Here's what you need to understand. Even when your circumstances didn't look like winning, your frequency was still broadcasting. In fact, it's often during your lowest points, when you thought you were losing, that your winner frequency was proving itself the most. Because winners don't get identified by easy victories. They're identified by how they respond when everything seems stacked against them. Every time you kept going, every time you held on to hope when it made no sense, every time you believed in more despite evidence of less, you were transmitting the winner signal. The fact that you're hearing this message means your system has reached the level where winner frequency can no longer be ignored. You've moved past survival mode. You've entered success mode. And success mode isn't about convincing yourself you deserve good things. It's about knowing deep in your cells that winning is your natural state. This knowing is what separates you from the crowd. It's not arrogance. It's not wishful thinking. It's recognition. Recognition that what you used to call luck is actually your essence slipping through the cracks of old conditioning. Recognition that coincidence is actually precision delivery from the universe, responding to the frequency you've been broadcasting all along. From this moment forward, start paying closer attention. Notice how your body reacts to these words. Notice the fire in your chest, the tingling in your hands, the surge of energy. That's not hype. That's resonance. That's every cell in your body remembering what your mind has sometimes doubted. You are tuned in to the frequency of winners. And once that frequency is online, reality has no choice but to start rearranging itself around it. If you've ever wondered why your path has been so full of challenges, setbacks, and moments where you felt like giving up, here's the truth. Those weren't punishments. They were training sessions. They were carefully designed workouts in the cosmic gymnasium, sculpting the strength you would need to operate at winner-level reality. Think about elite athletes. They don't become champions because life is easy. They become champions because their training pushes them further than most people could imagine. Long before the medals, long before the applause, there are unseen hours of pain, sweat, and discipline. That's how the universe has been treating you. Every obstacle you faced wasn't there to block you. It was there to build you. Every betrayal that cut you deep was sharpening your intuition, teaching you to trust your inner knowing above outside voices. Every failure that bruised your ego was dissolving your dependence on outcomes, so you could recognize that your worth isn't tied to temporary results. Every season of isolation was strengthening your self-reliance, teaching you that your power doesn't come from approval, but from alignment. Every financial struggle was refining your relationship with abundance, stripping away scarcity patterns so you could handle wealth with wisdom when it arrives. At the time, it may have felt cruel. It may have looked like the universe was against you. But in reality, it was the opposite. You were being prepared, forged, transformed. Just like carbon becomes a diamond under pressure, you were becoming unbreakable under the weight of your challenges. The pressure wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you. Here's what winners understand. Setbacks aren't signs of failure. They're signals of preparation. The comeback is always built inside the setback. When you were on your knees questioning everything, that was the exact moment when your winner consciousness was being upgraded. While most people interpret difficulty as a reason to quit, you kept moving. And every step you took in the dark built muscle memory for walking in the light. So if you've ever asked, why has my journey been so hard? The answer is simple. Because your destiny is so high. The universe doesn't train ordinary people with extraordinary pressure. It only applies that kind of intensity to those it knows can handle it. Those it knows will multiply the lessons into transformation. You've been handpicked for this process, even when you didn't realize it. Now the training is shifting. You're moving out of survival drills and into mastery practice. The resistance you felt, the walls you've hit, the setbacks you've endured, they were never about keeping you small. They were about preparing you to hold the weight of the success that's coming. Without that training, you wouldn't have the resilience, the clarity, or the strength to handle the reality you're stepping into now. You haven't been losing, you've been lifting, and the strength you've built is exactly what will carry you into the next level of your winner reality. One of the clearest signs that you're operating on winner frequency is something I call winner radar. It's that invisible sense you carry into every room, every conversation, every decision. While most people scan for problems, for risks, for reasons to play small, your radar is tuned to something different. You're scanning for possibilities, for openings, for the subtle signals that point towards success. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a meeting, a social gathering, or even a casual encounter, and within seconds you just knew where the real energy, influence, or opportunity was? That wasn't guesswork. That wasn't luck. That was your winner radar in action. You've been training it unconsciously through every challenge, every moment you refused to quit, every time you chose faith over fear. Most people live on limitation frequency. Their minds are conditioned to expect obstacles, setbacks, and disappointment. They anticipate struggle and therefore magnetize it. But you've been rewired through your experiences to detect success signals that others can't even see. Where they see a dead end, you sense a hidden door. Where they see a problem, you recognize a disguised opportunity. Where they feel fear, you feel curiosity. This is why certain opportunities find you by coincidence, why synchronicities seem to follow you around, why the right person, the right idea, or the right resource seems to arrive at exactly the right moment. It's not coincidence, it's resonance. Your winner radar is tuned to the frequency of alignment, and reality responds by revealing what others overlook. Imagine two people standing in the same storm. One sees nothing but chaos, destruction, and danger. The other notices the wind patterns, the breaks in the clouds, the openings where light pierces through. Same storm, two completely different perceptions. That's what it's like to live with winner radar. You and others may face the same reality, but you perceive completely different possibilities. And here's the beautiful part. Winner radar doesn't just detect opportunities, it also detects people. You've probably met someone and without knowing their background, instantly felt whether they were on a trajectory of success or not. That's not judgment, it's recognition. You're sensing their frequency. You're reading their energy signature, their alignment, their coherence, and your system immediately knows whether they're in resonance with your winner path. This is why you sometimes feel disconnected from people who seemed fine on the surface. It's not because you're arrogant or dismissive. It's because your radar can sense when someone isn't aligned with expansion. And it's why you feel immediately at home with others who are operating on your frequency. Your souls recognize each other before words are even exchanged. The truth is, your winner radar has been in beta mode for years. But now, as your frequency rises, it's coming fully online. The more you trust it, the sharper it becomes. The more you act on its signals, the faster it calibrates. This radar isn't a luxury. It's your guidance system for navigating winner reality. And as you step into this next chapter, it will become your most valuable tool. If you've been feeling pressure lately, if life has seemed heavier than usual, there's a reason. And it's not because you're failing. It's because you're in the exact phase of transformation where carbon becomes diamond. Think about it. Carbon is ordinary, everywhere, fragile compared to what it can become. But under extreme heat and pressure over time, carbon is reorganized at the atomic level into diamond, one of the hardest and most valuable substances on Earth. The pressure doesn't destroy the carbon, it refines it. It reveals its true nature. The same thing has been happening with you. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every sleepless night, every why me moment was part of your diamond-making process. The universe wasn't punishing you, it was preparing you. Each struggle was designed to strip away layers of limitation, doubt, and fear so that your winner consciousness could emerge indestructible. Here's what most people don't realize. Pressure is evidence of potential. The greater the pressure, the greater the capacity that's trying to emerge. The more intense the challenge, the more extraordinary the future it's preparing you for. Winners understand this. They don't interpret pressure as punishment. They interpret it as proof. Proof that they're in training for a level of success that ordinary people will never touch. Think back on the hardest seasons of your life. The heartbreaks that almost broke you. The failures that humiliated you. The struggles that drained you. Now notice something. You didn't just survive them. You came out with new strength, sharper vision, deeper resilience. You became someone who can carry more, lead more, create more. That's not random. That's the alchemy of pressure at work. When everyone else was collapsing under the weight, you kept going. You may have bent, but you didn't break. And in that survival, something inside you hardened into unshakable certainty. That's the diamond within you announcing itself. Pressure also reveals authenticity. Fake identities can't survive the fire. Pretending collapses under stress. Only what's real remains. Every false belief about yourself that you've carried is being burned away in this process. What survives is your essential winner nature, the part of you that can't be broken, can't be doubted, can't be denied. And here's the most important truth. Pressure has an expiration date. Diamonds don't stay in the making forever. There comes a moment when the pressure has done its job, when the structure is complete, when the brilliance is undeniable. That's where you are right now. The pressure you've been feeling isn't endless. It's transitional. It's the final stage before your shine. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself, this isn't happening to destroy me. This is happening to reveal me. I am not being crushed. I am being crystallized. I am not carbon anymore. I am diamond. Every setback you've ever experienced wasn't the end of your story. It was the setup for your comeback. Winners understand something most people never realize. Failure isn't final. It's formative. Think of the greatest athletes, innovators, and leaders in history. None of them reached the top without moments where they lost, failed, or got rejected. But those moments weren't wasted. Each one planted the exact lessons, strategies, and resilience they needed for their comeback. That's exactly what's been happening in your life. Every time you thought you lost, you were actually collecting the ingredients for your return. Every rejection was redirection. Every closed door was calibration. Every fall was secretly strengthening the muscles you would need to rise higher than ever before. But here's what separates winners from everyone else. They don't misinterpret the setback. Average minds see failure as proof they're not good enough. Winner minds see failure as feedback, as training, as preparation for the level of success that requires more than luck. Winners know that what looks like defeat today will look like destiny tomorrow. Think about your own story. How many times did you feel like something was the end, only to look back later and realize it was just the turning point? That relationship that ended, it taught you to value yourself so much more deeply. That opportunity that slipped away, it cleared the path for something bigger, something more aligned. That season of loss, It taught you gratitude, resilience, and focus in a way nothing else could. Comebacks are powerful because they're not about starting from zero. They're about starting again, but this time with wisdom. You're not who you were before the setback. You're sharper, stronger, smarter, more aware. You've upgraded. That's why your next chapter will be completely different from your last. And here's the truth. The universe has been testing you, not to break you, but to see if you're ready. Ready to hold the abundance, the success, the visibility, and the opportunities waiting for you. Because comeback success requires stability. It requires someone who won't crumble under pressure, someone who knows how to rise when others would quit. You've proven that. That's why you're being called to rise again now. Your comeback is already in motion. The synchronicities you're seeing, the opportunities aligning, the ideas flowing through you. Those are signs. Signs that you've graduated from the training phase and entered the winning phase. So from now on, when life knocks you down, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this preparing me for? Because winners know that every loss is fuel. Every no is direction. Every ending is the setup for the comeback that defines the champion. One of the most powerful qualities of winners is something almost invisible. They have radar. Not military radar, but consciousness radar. A frequency-based perception system that allows them to sense opportunity long before it becomes obvious to others. Have you noticed this in yourself? The times when you just knew someone would succeed before anyone else believed in them. The times when you walked into a room and immediately sensed where the real power was even before introductions were made. The moments when you trusted your instincts about a decision and it turned out to be exactly right. That's not luck. That's your winner radar in action. Most people are trained to scan for problems. Their awareness is tuned to obstacles, worst-case scenarios, and reasons why something won't work. They've been conditioned into limitation frequency. Winners operate differently. Their radar scans for possibilities, solutions, and breakthroughs. While others see dead ends, winners see detours that lead to bigger destinations. This radar isn't mystical, it's developed. Every time you refused to give up when circumstances told you to quit, you sharpened it. Every time you believed in your potential when no one else did, you calibrated it. Every challenge you faced was training your radar to detect openings in the quantum field that remain invisible to those who've been programmed for limitation. Here's the truth. Opportunities rarely announce themselves with flashing signs. They appear quietly, hidden in everyday moments, disguised as chance encounters, stray ideas, or sudden shifts in perspective. Most people miss them because they're only looking for what they already know. But your radar picks up signals beyond logic. It detects potential that hasn't fully materialized yet. It feels where energy is moving before the results appear in physical form. Think of how a musician can hear notes in their head before they're played, or how a chess master can sense moves many turns ahead. Your winner radar works the same way. It allows you to see patterns, alignments, and openings that others won't recognize until it's too late. That's why some people seem to always be in the right place at the right time. It's not coincidence. It's tuned awareness. And right now, your radar is amplifying. The fact that you're hearing this message means you've entered a phase where opportunities will appear faster, closer, and more clearly than ever before. But here's the key. You have to trust it. Doubt is radar static. When you second-guess the signals, you weaken their power. Winners act on their radar even when logic hasn't caught up yet. They know intuition is often ahead of evidence. So pay attention. That idea that won't leave your mind, that pull toward a conversation or a project, that nudge to step into something bigger, those aren't random thoughts. Those are signals. Your radar is active, and when you act on it, you prove to the universe that you're ready for the next level of success waiting to meet you. There's a universal misunderstanding about struggle. Most people think difficulties come to break them down, to punish them, or to prove they're not good enough. But winners understand something deeper. Pressure doesn't destroy you, it forges you. Just like carbon transforms into diamond only under extreme heat and pressure, your challenges have been shaping your consciousness into something unbreakable. Think about the toughest moments of your life, the heartbreaks that cut deep, the failures that made you question your worth, the times when doors slammed shut and you felt completely alone. From the outside, it looked like defeat, but inside, something else was happening. Every heartbreak was training you to trust your inner voice over external validation. Every failure was teaching you that your identity is greater than your results. Every season of isolation was building inner strength that couldn't be shaken by circumstances. This is why winners view setbacks differently. To the average person, a loss is a loss. To a winner, a loss is a lesson, an upgrade, a recalibration. Each disappointment carries encoded data about what needs to evolve for the next level. Each delay is preparation for handling bigger success without collapsing under the weight of it. This is why elite athletes understand this principle. They don't just train their bodies, they train their minds to endure pain, fatigue, and doubt. The intensity isn't punishment, it's preparation for performance on the world stage. In the same way, the universe has been training you through the very experiences you thought were setbacks. You've been in a cosmic gymnasium, lifting the weights of adversity to build winner muscle. And here's the paradox. The harder the challenge, the more valuable the upgrade. That financial struggle purified your relationship with abundance. That betrayal taught you to recognize real loyalty. That failure in business sharpened your resilience and resourcefulness. None of it was wasted. Every challenge was precisely calibrated to activate qualities you'll need in winner reality. It's why the old strategies stopped working. It's why the relationships that once felt right suddenly felt too small. You weren't failing, you were outgrowing your previous life. The universe was dismantling everything that could not hold your true magnitude. So if you've been wondering why life has felt so intense lately, remember this. Diamonds aren't made in comfort. Winners aren't built in ease. You've been forged by fire for a reason. Every scar is proof that you didn't break. Every challenge was evidence of your training. And now, the pressure that once felt unbearable has turned you into someone capable of holding extraordinary levels of success. The next time life turns up the heat, don't ask, why me? Ask, what strength is this building in me? Because winners know, pressure doesn't crush you, it reveals the diamond you were always meant to become. There's a stage in every winner's journey that feels like chaos. The old identity starts dissolving, but the new one hasn't fully emerged yet. It's uncomfortable, disorienting, even painful at times. But here's the truth. This chaos isn't destruction. It's reorganization. It's metamorphosis. Think about the caterpillar. It doesn't just grow wings one day and decide to fly. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar literally dissolves into a cellular soup called imaginal cells. Everything it once was disintegrates so that something entirely new can form. From that soup, a completely different being is assembled. The butterfly, a creature that doesn't just crawl anymore, but soars. That's what's happening to you right now. You're in your cocoon phase. Parts of your old self, beliefs, habits, relationships, even ways of thinking that used to serve you are falling apart. From the outside, it might look like your life is collapsing. But inside, a whole new operating system is being installed. The crawling consciousness is giving way to flying consciousness. This transitional zone is what mystics call the dark night of the soul, a place where you can't go back to who you were, but you're not yet fully who you're becoming. And while it feels like chaos, what's actually happening is higher coherence. The pieces of your life are being rearranged to match your winner frequency. That's why your old solutions suddenly stopped working. Why things that used to excite you now feel empty. Why relationships that once felt safe now feel restrictive. It's not because you're failing, it's because you've outgrown the old identity. Your soul refuses to crawl when it knows you were built to fly. Here's the part most people miss. The discomfort you're feeling isn't the pain of breaking down. It's the sensation of breaking open. It's not the end of you, it's the beginning of the real you. Just like the cast on a healed bone eventually has to come off, your old identity served its purpose, but now it's constraining your growth. Removing it feels strange, vulnerable, even scary, but it's necessary for freedom. So if your life feels chaotic, if everything you thought was solid is dissolving, don't panic, celebrate. You're not losing yourself, you're shedding a false self that was never meant to contain your full power. The transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were always meant to be before the world taught you to play small. You're not just improving your old identity, you're upgrading into a completely different frequency, winner consciousness. And once this transformation is complete, you'll look back and realize that the chaos wasn't breaking you. It was building you into someone capable of flying higher than you ever imagined. What if the version of you that's emerging right now isn't new at all, but ancient? What if winner consciousness isn't something you're creating, but something you're remembering? Deep down, your soul has always known it was designed for greatness, for abundance, for victory. The journey you're on isn't about becoming, it's about returning. Children already live closer to winner consciousness. Think about it. They believe in magic. They expect their dreams to come true. They assume they deserve love, attention, and joy just because they exist. They don't apologize for wanting more, and they don't doubt that the world is full of possibilities. That was you once, before society taught you to shrink, to doubt, to be realistic. Winner consciousness is that original memory reawakening inside you. It's the recognition that you are not broken, not lacking, not behind. You are whole, you are powerful, you are already everything you've been chasing. The struggles you faced weren't evidence that you're unworthy. They were the training grounds for remembering who you really are. And this is why certain messages, opportunities, or people feel like déjà vu. It's not the first time your soul has encountered them. It's a remembering. It's your higher self tapping you on the shoulder saying, this is the path. This is who you've always been. That's why some truths hit you in the gut like lightning. They bypass the logical mind and awaken something ancient within you. When you operate from winner consciousness, you stop chasing success like it's outside of you. You stop begging the universe for permission to live your dreams. Instead, you realize success is your nature, abundance is your inheritance, and alignment is your only real work. From that space, you don't force, you flow. You don't doubt, you decide. This is why so many of your old patterns are collapsing. The identity built on scarcity, on unworthiness, on fear, it can't survive the truth of your soul. That identity wasn't real. It was a temporary mask you wore to navigate a world that had forgotten its own power. But masks eventually crack, and when they do, the face of your true self shines through. Here's the ultimate remembering. You don't have to become a winner. You already are one. The question isn't how do I get there? The question is how fully am I willing to embody it? Every time you choose faith over fear, truth over comfort, vision over limitation, you're remembering. You're reactivating the original blueprint. Winner consciousness isn't a destination. It's a return. It's the soul whispering, welcome back. You finally remembered. Imagine reality as a giant field of frequencies. Every thought, every emotion, every belief you carry is like a broadcast, sending out signals to the universe. Most people don't realize it, but they are constantly tuning their inner radio to Limitation FM, a channel filled with doubt, fear, and scarcity. And then they wonder why their life echoes those same patterns back to them. Winner consciousness plays on a different station. It's winner frequency. It's not something external you chase. It's a vibration you embody. Just like a radio doesn't create the music but tunes into what's already playing, your consciousness doesn't invent success. It aligns with the reality where success already exists. When you align with winner frequency, opportunities that once seemed invisible suddenly appear. People who can help you seem to show up out of nowhere. Synchronicities accelerate, not because the universe changed, but because you did. The channel of abundance has always been broadcasting. You finally tuned into it. This alignment requires coherence. Not just thinking positive thoughts while your heart secretly doubts. Not just saying affirmations while your nervous system trembles in fear. Coherence means your thoughts, emotions, body, and energy field all broadcast the same signal. It's the difference between random light and a laser beam. Ordinary light scatters everywhere with little power. Laser light, perfectly aligned, can cut through steel. That's the power of winner frequency. Here's the shift. Stop asking, how do I get what I want? And start asking, how do I become the person who naturally lives at the frequency of what I want? Because reality doesn't give you what you desire. It gives you what you are. When you embody abundance, abundance flows. When you embody confidence, opportunities multiply. When you embody love, connections deepen. Think of every lucky break you've had in your life. That wasn't luck. That was a moment when your frequency aligned with the reality where things worked out in your favor. The key is to stop waiting for those moments to happen by accident and start creating them on purpose. Winner frequency is not about effort. It's about adjustment. A subtle shift in how you see yourself, how you breathe, how you respond to challenges. It's noticing when you've slipped into fear and deliberately retuning yourself to faith. It's catching yourself in self-doubt and replacing it with self-certainty. Every adjustment strengthens the signal.
The more consistent your frequency, the more consistent your results. Life stops being a struggle and starts being a flow. You're no longer chasing opportunities. They're chasing you. Because you've become a magnet for everything that resonates with your winner frequency. Most people live in conflict without realizing it. Their mind says, I want success, but their emotions whisper, I'm not worthy. Their words declare confidence, but their body language communicates doubt. This internal contradiction creates what physicists call destructive interference, waves of energy canceling each other out. That's why their results feel inconsistent, why some days things flow and other days everything collapses. Winners operate differently. They understand the principle of coherence. Coherence means that every part of your being, mind, heart, body, and energy broadcast the same frequency. When your inner and outer worlds align, you create constructive interference. All the waves reinforce each other, amplifying your signal until it becomes powerful enough to reshape reality itself. Think of a laser beam. Normal light scatters in every direction, weak and unfocused. But when all the photons align, moving in the same direction at the same frequency, the result is a beam so powerful it can cut through steel. Your consciousness works exactly the same way. Scattered thoughts and emotions create weak results. Aligned thoughts and emotions create unstoppable momentum. This is why affirmations don't work for many people. If you repeat, I am successful, but deep down you feel unworthy, the universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your vibration. And your vibration comes from what you genuinely believe and embody, not what you try to force on the surface. Coherence is not about pretending. It's about aligning. True coherence happens when your conscious desires match your subconscious programming. When your body's nervous system feels safe with the level of success you're asking for. When your heart feels open enough to receive the abundance you claim you want. That's when your signal becomes clean, clear, undeniable. And coherence doesn't just impact you. It influences everyone around you. Studies from the HeartMath Institute show that a coherent heart rhythm creates a measurable electromagnetic field that synchronizes with others. That means when you achieve inner alignment, your very presence helps others feel calm, inspired, and empowered. You literally become a transmitter of order in a chaotic world. So how do you build coherence? By telling the truth to yourself. By noticing when part of you is resisting and choosing to listen instead of suppressing it. By aligning your daily actions with your deepest values. By practicing gratitude until your nervous system begins to expect good things rather than brace for bad ones. By breathing deeply and slowly, signaling safety to your body so it no longer sabotages your expansion. When you live in coherence, you stop pushing against life. Opportunities align effortlessly. People feel drawn to you without knowing why. Synchronicities accelerate, not because you're chasing them, but because your frequency is stable enough for the universe to mirror back consistently. Coherence is the secret weapon of winners. It's not louder affirmations or harder work. It's the quiet power of alignment, where every part of you says yes to the same vision. And when that happens, what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. Every winner eventually discovers a secret. Results don't come from control. They come from trust. Not blind hope, not wishful thinking, but a deep embodied confidence that the universe is always conspiring in their favor. This is what I call quantum trust. The unshakable knowing that everything, no matter how it appears, is part of the path to your ultimate success. Most people live in constant anxiety because they're addicted to control. They want guarantees before they take action. They wait for certainty before they risk. But the quantum field doesn't operate by guarantees. It operates by faith first, evidence second. The observer creates reality, not the other way around. That means you must embody trust before the results appear, not after. Quantum trust is what allows you to move forward when logic screams, wait. It's what pushes you to make the call, send the email, take the leap when everything in the material world says you're not ready. And yet, once you do it, doors open that would have remained invisible if you had waited for proof. Think about walking into a dark room. You don't demand to see the furniture before you turn on the light. You trust the switch will work, and then illumination confirms your faith. That's how success works at the quantum level. You flip the switch of trust, and the universe responds with opportunities, synchronicities, and results. But here's what makes quantum trust so powerful. It recalibrates your nervous system. When you trust, your body stops living in survival mode. Stress hormones decrease, your intuition sharpens, and you start noticing opportunities you couldn't see while panicked. Neuroscience proves this. When your brain believes safety and success are possible, your creativity and problem-solving abilities skyrocket. This trust doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means interpreting reality differently. A setback isn't failure, it's a recalibration. A delay isn't punishment, it's preparation. A closed door isn't rejection, it's redirection. Quantum trust teaches you that everything is happening for you, never to you. Winners embody this naturally. They don't crumble when things go wrong. They lean in, knowing that what looks like chaos today often becomes the foundation of tomorrow's breakthrough. They don't panic when a plan collapses. They smile because they've seen too many times how collapse leads to creation. When you live with quantum trust, people feel it. They sense your calm, your certainty, your magnetic energy. They want to follow you, invest in you, partner with you. Not because you promise guarantees, but because your very presence communicates that everything is unfolding perfectly. Trust isn't passive. It's not sitting back and doing nothing. It's active alignment with the knowing that the universe has your back. It's taking bold action, not because you have proof it will work, but because you know that you work and the universe always matches your frequency. Quantum trust is the bridge between desire and manifestation. Without it, you hesitate, doubt, and sabotage. With it, you move boldly, attract effortlessly, and live with unshakable peace no matter what's happening around you. No winner operates alone. Even though your journey feels deeply personal, the quantum field reveals a hidden truth. Consciousness is contagious. The frequency you broadcast influences not only your reality, but also the realities of everyone connected to you. And when multiple winners come together, their frequencies don't just add, they multiply. This is the principle of the quantum community. Just like tuning forks naturally sync when placed near each other, human consciousness synchronizes. When you surround yourself with people who operate from winner frequency, your own vibration locks into coherence faster and stronger than it ever could in isolation. Think about how you felt after spending time with someone who radiates positivity and certainty. Their energy lifts you, sharpens you, expands you. Now imagine being immersed in a group of people who all operate this way. That's not motivation, that's quantum amplification. Scientific research proves this. The Institute of Heart Math discovered that when a group of people enter heart-brain coherence together, the electromagnetic field around them expands exponentially, influencing not just the group, but also the environment. The Global Consciousness Project showed how focused collective attention can organize randomness into meaningful patterns. Translation: when winners gather, reality bends. But here's the key difference between ordinary groups and quantum communities: intention. Ordinary groups talk, complain, and bond over struggle. Quantum communities align, activate, and expand through shared coherence. Every conversation becomes a transmission. Every gathering becomes an activation field. This is why the universe has been drawing certain people towards you lately. Those conversations that feel electric, those connections that seem divinely orchestrated. It's not random, it's your quantum community assembling. They are the mirrors who will reflect your highest self until you fully embody it. Winners understand that while personal practice builds strength, collective practice builds power. Alone, you can shift your own frequency. Together, you can shift timelines. This is why ancient traditions emphasize circles, councils, sanghas, temples. They knew that when aligned souls unite, their combined energy can trigger transformations that no individual could achieve alone. But there's a warning here too. Community works both ways. Just as elevated frequencies amplify each other, low frequencies drag each other down. If you constantly surround yourself with people who vibrate in victim consciousness, who rehearse their limitations, who fear success, their frequency becomes your frequency, unless you consciously guard your field. That's why choosing your quantum family is one of the most important decisions of your life. Who you listen to, who you spend time with, who you share your energy with, these choices aren't casual, they're quantum contracts. Each one either accelerates your activation or anchors you back into limitation. So ask yourself, who in your life expands you? Who drains you? Who challenges you to see yourself as the winner you are? And who subtly convinces you to stay small? The answers reveal the community you must cultivate, the alliances you must strengthen, and the circles you must leave behind. Because here's the ultimate truth. Winners create winners. When you embody your frequency fully, you give others permission to rise. When you walk into a room with coherence, everyone in that room feels it. When you share your journey openly, others recognize themselves in your story and awaken. Quantum community is more than support. It's more than networking. It's a living field of energy that makes the impossible inevitable. Winners don't grind, they flow. While the world teaches that success comes from relentless effort, struggle, and constant pushing, quantum reality reveals a different law. The most extraordinary outcomes emerge when you align, not when you force. This is the principle of quantum flow. It's the state where your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in perfect harmony with the frequency of your winner self.
In this state, what once felt hard suddenly feels natural. What once required discipline now feels like inspiration. What once seemed impossible unfolds as inevitable. Think about the moments in your life when time seemed to disappear, when you were so absorbed in what you were doing that hours passed like minutes. You weren't overthinking, you weren't forcing, you were simply present, fully aligned, and everything unfolded effortlessly. That was a glimpse of quantum flow. Science backs this up. Neuroscientists have discovered that in flow states, the brain enters a unique rhythm where different regions synchronize, creating hyper-efficiency. Creativity spikes, problem-solving accelerates, physical performance skyrockets, and most importantly, resistance fades away.
But here's what makes quantum flow different from ordinary flow. It's not just about peak performance, it's about peak alignment. You're not simply focused on a task, you're aligned with your highest timeline. You're not just in the zone, you're in the quantum zone, where the universe rearranges itself to support your actions. In this state, opportunities appear without effort. Conversations lead to breakthroughs without planning. Resources flow towards you without chasing. You're not fighting the current, you're riding it. That's why winners seem lucky to outsiders. It looks like everything just happens for them. But what's really happening is coherence with flow. Here's the paradox. You can't chase flow. The harder you try, the further it slips away. Flow happens when you release the need to control every step and start trusting the intelligence of the quantum field. It requires surrender, not struggle. This doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you act from inspiration instead of desperation. You move when it feels right, not when fear demands it. You speak when truth rises, not when ego forces it. You rest when your body calls, knowing that alignment matters more than hours logged. Ancient traditions understood this. The Taoists called it Wu Wei, effortless action. The idea that the highest form of mastery is not forcing, but flowing with the natural currents of life. Quantum physics echoes this truth. Particles don't struggle to become waves. Waves don't force themselves into particles. They simply shift states when observed, effortlessly. Winners live this way. They don't waste energy resisting what is. They channel energy into what wants to emerge. They trust timing, trust intuition, trust that the field is always conspiring in their favor. That trust is what turns effort into flow. Imagine living every day like this, not grinding, not doubting, not resisting, just flowing. Imagine decisions feeling natural, opportunities appearing on cue, creativity bursting through you without effort. That's not fantasy. That's your natural state when you embody quantum flow. Winner consciousness is not only about personal success. It is about realizing that every decision, every step, every choice you make leaves an imprint in the quantum field. A legacy of frequency that shapes not just your life, but the lives of those around you and the generations to come. You are no longer simply existing for yourself. You are transmitting a signal that influences your family, your community, and the collective future. Look back for a moment. Every challenge has forged your strength. Every test of faith has built the capacity for you to step into this higher dimension. Now you have reached the point of no return. You are no longer a draft version of yourself. You are the living proof that winner frequency is real. This is the moment to stop asking, "Can I?" and begin declaring, "I will." The universe is listening. Your frequency is being recorded. And the only question that remains is this: will you claim this moment as the time you fully step into winner reality? If these words have awakened something deep within you, do not stay silent. Subscribe now to remain connected to this field, where you will continue to be activated and guided. Comment with one word that represents the winner frequency you commit to embody from this moment forward.
And share this video with someone you know is ready, because when you pass this signal forward, your own energy is amplified. This is not just content. This is a call. This is the signal. This is the turning point. Your time is now.